Hi everyone. So my name is Rohan Varma, and I am a computer science major at Carnegie Mellon University. And so what this is going to be a series of videos in basically a course to try to teach introduction to programming. So what it's going to be is a series of videos which are about 4 to 5 minutes, which are trying to cover one topic at a time. There'll be about 3 to 4 videos each week, and then associated homework problems. So essentially, if you watch the videos and do the homework, then by the end of the 10 to 12 weeks which this course will take, you'll hopefully know programming pretty well. So this video is just going to be a setup video to basically show you guys how to get up and running so that you can start developing as soon as possible. So the first thing you want to do is install Python. So this course is going to be primarily taught in Python 2. There's actually two types of Python, Python 2 and Python 3. And while Python 3 is the most updated version, everyone still seems to use Python 2, and I prefer it, so I'm going to be teaching the course on that. So what you want to do is basically go to Python 2 install. Then you go to the website, and you click download for your operating system. Python 2, remember, not Python 3. Then what you're going to get is basically this thing called idle, if you see it on the right side of my screen. Now when I click on it, I'm going to get this nice little thing. It's going to open up, and it's going to look cool. So this is basically what we call a shell. Now what a shell is it's a place where we can type in snippets of code and have it run immediately. So let's say I want to do 2 plus 2, which is actually a Python expression. Then I get 4. Let's say I want to make a variable x equals 5. It does it. Then I want to print out the value of x. That'll give me 5. What if I do x plus 2? That'll give me 5 plus 2, which is 7. So as you can see, we can basically run these small snippets of code, and then Python will immediately print out the output if there is an output. Now, it turns out that this is great for actually testing and kind of fiddling around, but the thing is that it's not how you're going to actually develop for the most part. What you really need is a development environment. So what I recommend is actually downloading this thing called Sublime. So if you go to Sublime Text install, and you just click on it, you can download Sublime Text 2 or 3 for your operating system. And what you get is essentially, if I click on it, it's this. It's a development environment. It's kind of like a text editor. So what I'm going to do is make a new file, and I can type things like, hello, my name is Rohan. However, we want to do Python development, right? So you need to save the file in such a way that it knows it's a Python file. So when I save it, I'm going to save it on my desktop. I'm basically going to save it with a .py extension. So let's say hello there .py. So notice this is key, doing .py. If you're wondering why it doesn't work properly later on, you make sure you have the .py there. So I'm going to save it. So now I have this thing. So I can do what I did before. 2 plus 2, x equals 5, x plus 2, and that's great. However, notice that it's not giving me an output or anything, because what this is a Python script. It's a file with Python code in it. And so I'm going to write code, and what's going to happen is that it's going to execute each line one at a time. And if I ever print out an output, then it'll basically show that to me. So we need to basically give it a way to show us things. So I'm going to talk about this more later, but let's just try and look at what a print statement does. So to do it, you type in print. Now notice it's red because that's a special thing. So let's say I want to print out x plus 2. Now what this is going to do is evaluate x plus 2 and then print it out when I run the file. So I'm going to save the file, and now let's actually run it. Now the way you run it is you click on Tools and you click Build. However, this is kind of arduous, and so there's actually there's a shortcut on most computers, and it's Command B. So when I click on Build, I do that, and look at that. It printed out the 7. And that was the only thing it printed out, even though I did all this stuff, because it's the only thing I told it to print. Another way, as I said, you can do Command B, and it prints it out immediately. So, thanks for watching. This was just the intro video for the setup, and the next video is basically going to be about functions, values, and how we can kind of get up and running to do some basic Python programming.